The cold plastic mouse clicks like a tiny gunshot in the silent office. The fluorescent lights hum a tired, clinical tune. Outside, the city breathes oblivious. Inside, my own breath catches, locks tight in my chest. The screen blurs, then sharpens again. American Airlines AAdvantage account. My account. My miles. Hundreds of thousands, earned one grueling business trip at a time, one delayed flight after another, one lonely hotel room folding cheap laundry while he slept soundly at home. They weren't just points. They were currency for a future I thought we were building. A trip to Italy, maybe finally. A quiet escape to the coast. Dreams assigned a point value. But the destination listed isn't Rome. It isn't Charleston. It's Miami. And the names. One is his. The other is not mine. The other is a name I've seen pop up occasionally, innocently, on a shared work email. A colleague. A young colleague. And the seats aren't coach. They aren't even business. They are first class. 2 of them. Paid for with 400,000 miles. My miles. Miles I could have sworn were still safely tucked away, waiting for us. The click echoes again, louder this time in the sudden, deafening silence inside my head. This is it. This is the moment the foundation crumbles. Not with a bang, but with the quiet, clinical confirmation on a loyalty program website. It's so pedestrian, so digital, that it takes a second for the analog reality of the betrayal to sink its teeth in. It's not just a secret. It's a transaction. A commodity traded behind my back. My years of loyalty, my sacrifices, packaged up and handed over, wrapped in a first-class blanket, served with champagne at 35,000 feet. Let me know where you're watching from and what time it is. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. It helps me more than you know. The feeling is less like a wound and more like a sudden, absolute structural failure. One moment you're standing in a familiar room. The next the floor is gone. I scroll back up, verify the dates, the flight numbers. It's for next week. A long weekend trip. Miami. First class. My husband. And her. The details are like shards of glass. Each one is small, but together they form a brutal, undeniable mosaic of deceit. My life before this moment feels impossibly distant, wrapped in a hazy glow of presumed normalcy. It wasn't perfect, of course. No marriage is. There were quiet evenings, predictable routines, the comfortable hum of 2 lives running parallel. We had built something solid, brick by brick, year by year. We shared a home, shared a history, shared the mundane triumphs and failures of everyday existence. We had plans, whispered over dinner, sketched out on napkins. Retirement, travel, simple things, built on the assumption of shared goals, shared values. Those miles were part of that shared future. Every single segment flown, every city visited for work, every late night navigating unfamiliar airports, it was all supposed to contribute to us, to a tangible reward for years of effort, years of being apart, so we could build a better life together. I meticulously tracked them, planned how we'd use them. They were more than points, they were promises. The inciting incident wasn't a whispered confession or a discovered text. It was digital. It was clean, cold data on a screen. It felt worse somehow. Less human, more clinical. Like I was just a hurdle, easily bypassed by a few clicks, my value measured in the points I had accumulated. In the immediate aftermath of discovery, my world shrinks to the size of that computer screen. I feel physically ill. My stomach churns, a cold wave washing over me. My hands shake as I minimize the browser window. I stand up, walk to the window, look out at the city lights that now seem indifferent, mocking. How long? How long has this been happening? Are there other trips? Other names? The miles are just the proof, the undeniable receipt. The betrayal itself feels vast, boundless. The first few hours are a blur of internal chaos. My mind races, trying to piece together a timeline. Were there subtle signs I missed? Late nights at the office that weren't really late? Business trips that were extended by a day? I replay conversations, searching for hidden meanings, for cracks in the facade. He was normal, laughing, talking about work, asking about my day. The performance is what chills me most. The sheer effort of maintaining the lie while planning a first-class getaway with someone else, using our future currency. I don't confront him immediately. I can't. I'm frozen, caught in the headlights of this revelation. What do you even say? Hey, I saw you use my airline miles to fly your mistress to Miami first class. It sounds absurd, like a line from a bad movie. But it's my life. And the absurdity doesn't make it any less real, any less devastating. My early struggles are internal. I try to act normal. I make dinner, we watch TV, we talk about our days. Every word out of his mouth feels like a lie. Every touch feels like a violation. The air in the house is thick with the unspoken truth. I feel like a ghost, moving through the motions of a life that no longer exists, haunting the ruins of my own marriage. I can't sleep. My mind is a constant loop of the account statement, the names, Miami, first class. I start digging. Not like a frantic amateur, but with a cold, calculated purpose. I check credit card statements, phone records, the joint account ones, of course. The patterns emerge slowly, subtly at first, then with horrifying clarity. Lunch receipts from out of town on days he was supposedly local. Hotel stays that don't match his business trip itineraries. Small, consistent purchases that add up. The paper trail is there if you know what to look for. It's almost worse than the miles. It paints a picture of a double life meticulously constructed, funded by our shared resources, our shared life. The financial aspect is what shifts my focus. It's not just an emotional betrayal, it's a financial one. He is using our money, my resources, earned through my effort and sacrifice, to build a relationship with someone else. The miles are the perfect, painful symbol of this. They are a direct result of my time away from him, time I spent working to build a secure future for him, with him. And he turned them into a first-class ticket for his girlfriend. It feels like a profound, personal insult. The deeper I dig, the angrier I become. The initial shock and hurt begin to solidify into something colder, harder. This isn't just a mistake. This is a deliberate, sustained pattern of deception. He didn't just stumble into this, he planned it. He managed it. He lied to me every single day while he was doing it. The man I thought I knew dissolves, replaced by a stranger who is capable of breathtaking dishonesty. I spend hours poring over airline websites, reading forums about mileage accounts, cancellation policies, change fees. I learn the rules. I learn the loopholes. I learn the specific conditions attached to my status, my account. The knowledge feels like a weapon. It's not much, maybe, but it's something I can control. Something he can't take from me. My anger fuels a quiet, relentless determination. I won't just be a passive victim in this story. The lies escalate. He talks about the upcoming week, his meetings, his plans. He doesn't mention Miami. He doesn't mention the flight. He looks me in the eye and talks about picking up dry cleaning, about dinner plans, about the weather. And I nod, I smile. I play the part of the unsuspecting wife. It's a performance, a charade, but I have to keep it up. I need him to be comfortable, oblivious. I need him to walk into the trap. The midpoint shift occurs when I realize that confronting him now achieves nothing. It gives him control. It gives him a chance to lie, to manipulate, to turn it back on me. I don't want a confession. I don't want an apology. I want something else. Something that hits him where it hurts, something he doesn't see coming. He used my resources to build his fantasy. I will use my resources to dismantle it. The anger transforms into a cold, strategic resolve. The hurt is still there, a dull ache beneath the surface, but the driving force is no longer pain. It's payback. My strategy crystallizes. I will let them get to the airport. I will let them check in. I will let them anticipate the first-class experience, the special treatment, the escape from their mundane lives, funded by my miles. And then, at the last possible moment, I will pull the rug out from under them. The closer they are to the luxury he stole from me, the further they will fall. The rising challenges feel less like external obstacles and more like the internal strain of maintaining the deception. Every casual question he asks, every normal interaction feels like a tightrope walk. Will he notice something is off? Did I accidentally leave a browser window open? The paranoia is a constant companion. Sleep is patchy, filled with fragmented dreams of airports and airplanes. My appetite vanishes. I exist on adrenaline and cold resolve. I practice accessing the account on my phone, ensuring I have the right passwords, the fastest way to navigate to the reservation details. I check the flight status obsessively. It's scheduled to depart late morning. That gives me time. Time to know they are there, through check-in, past security, settling into their smug anticipation. The tension builds with every passing hour. My body feels wired, my nerves frayed. The deepening crisis isn't an external event, but the growing isolation of my secret. I can't talk to anyone. My friends, my family, they all know him, they like him. How do you explain that your husband of 15 years is a liar and a cheater, and that you're planning a quiet, digital act of sabotage that feels equal parts petty and powerful? I am completely alone with this knowledge, this plan, and the weight of it is crushing. The days leading up to their flight are a blur. He's cheerful, anticipating his business trip. He packs his bag, lays out his clothes. He kisses me goodbye the morning he leaves for the airport. A kiss that tastes like ash in my mouth. I watch him go, a knot of anticipation and dread tightening in my stomach. The moment is coming. I track the flight status online, see that it's on time. I imagine them at the airport, checking in. Breeze through the priority lane, of course, thanks to his first-class ticket. Lounging in the first-class lounge. Sipping free drinks. Smiling at each other. Oblivious. The thought is a bitter poison, but it strengthens my resolve. He thinks he's gotten away with it. He thinks he's won. Not yet. I wait. The flight is due to board soon. I picture them walking down the jet bridge, turning left, towards the plush seats, the wide legroom, the attentive flight attendants. Towards the future, he thinks he's built with her, on the foundation of my efforts, my miles, my trust. The anger is a cold, hard stone in my gut now. The turning point is the moment I pull up the airline website on my laptop again. The screen is bright in the dim office light. My fingers hover over the keyboard. This is it. There's no going back after this. Divorce is likely inevitable now, anyway. But this is not about divorce. This is about agency. This is about taking back a tiny piece of what he stole. This is about sending a message. A message delivered at 35,000 feet, in the most uncomfortable seats possible. My heart pounds. My hands are steady. I navigate to Manage Reservation, enter the confirmation code. There it is. Their booking. His name. Her name. Seat numbers. 2A, 2B. First class. My miles. I click, change seats, a map of the plane appears. First class is nearly empty. Business class looks similar. Economy is a sea of green, showing mostly middle seats in the back. I scroll to the very rear of the plane. Find 2 seats next to each other. 45B, 45C. Middle seats. Last row. Right next to the lavatories. The system prompts me. Confirm seat change? Changing seats may affect your boarding group and other benefits associated with your original seats. Benefits associated with their original seats like, say, first-class benefits? Like being comfortable? Like arriving refreshed? Yes. I want to affect those benefits. Profoundly. I click confirm. Then the crucial step. I navigate back to the reservation summary. I see the new seat numbers, 45B, 45C. The ticket class is still listed as first class, paid for by miles. This is key. The ticket is first class. The seat assignment is economy. There is no refund of miles for changing seats within a class, and often not even for downgrading seats once booked, especially with miles. The system doesn't automatically reprice the ticket or refund the difference in miles just because they aren't sitting in the front. The rules are designed for their convenience, not mine. But I know the rules. And I know how to work them. I am not changing their ticket class. I and changing their seat assignment within the existing ticket structure. The system allows it. It's a loophole, small and obscure, but it's there. My miles are still gone. But so is his comfort. Then the final click. The critical click. I navigate to the option to change the flight itself. The same flight number, the same date, the same origin and destination. I select their names. The system shows available seats on the identical flight. And there, among the sea of options, is the choice to switch from first to economy. It warns about the fare difference, but with miles, it's handled differently. It doesn't offer a refund of miles because the original ticket was issued at the first-class mileage rate. It just lets me change the class. I click Change Class to Economy. The system pauses. Processes. A message pops up. Are you sure you wish to proceed? This action may incur fees or changes to mileage redemption. I click Yes, another confirmation. The miles are still gone. They were redeemed for first class, but the ticket class now reads Economy. The confirmation screen loads. Passenger names. His name, her name. Flight, same. Date, same. Seat numbers, 45B, 45C. Class, economy. There is no refund of miles. The 400,000 miles are still spent, but the first-class ticket is gone, replaced by an economy ticket still using the same, now overvalued, mileage redemption. The system is a blunt instrument. It doesn't care about the cost-benefit analysis. It just executes the commands. I download the new e-ticket confirmation. It shows the original mileage redemption for 100,000, but the new class and seat assignments. It's official. The first-class dream, paid for with my miles, is dead, replaced by a cramped reality in the back of the plane. I save the confirmation, close the laptop, lean back in my chair. My breath comes out in a long, shaky exhale. It's done. There's a moment of pure, cold satisfaction. It's not victory, not really. Victory would be none of this ever happening. But it's something. It's retaliation. It's a reclamation of a tiny sliver of control. Now I wait. I don't hear from him immediately. The flight is boarding. They are likely sitting there, in 45B and 45C, crammed next to each other and the bathroom, surrounded by the general chaos of economy class. Are they complaining? Are they confused? Do they think there was a mistake? Do they suspect? The hours crawl by. The flight takes off. I imagine their discomfort, the long flight to Miami in those seats. No champagne, no space, no privacy. Just the cramped reality of being in the back, sharing that indignity together, paid for by my miles. The climax isn't a confrontation with me. It's his realization. The moment it hits him that his plan hasn't just been discovered, but actively, strategically undone. And not by some anonymous airline error, but by the person he betrayed, using the very currency of his betrayal. He calls me later that day. His voice is tight, strained. Did you do something to the flights? He asks, skipping any preamble. My heart gives a small jolt, but my voice is steady, calm. What are you talking about? Our seats, he says, his voice rising. We're in the back. In economy. The website says it's an economy ticket now, but the miles used were for first class. What happened? I pause, letting the silence stretch. I picture him, sweating in the Miami humidity, maybe standing outside the airport, the glamour of his arrival shattered. Oh, I say, as if just remembering. That. Yes. I changed them. Another pause. The silence is heavy, crackling with his disbelief. You changed them? Why? Because, I say, my voice losing some of its forced calm, the coldness seeping in. Those are my miles, aren't they? I earned them. And it seems you were planning to use them for a trip with someone who is a me. First class, no less. His breath hitches. The smooth operator is gone, replaced by panic. How did you? I can explain. No, I say, cutting him off. You can't. You can't explain using my miles, earned over years of me working while you were home, to fly your mistress to Miami in the lap of luxury. There's no explanation for that. It was a mistake, he says, the panic clear now. Just a one-time. First class to Miami doesn't sound like a mistake, I interrupt. It sounds like a plan. And you used my resources to fund it. So, I redirected those resources. From first-class seats you didn't earn, to economy seats you deserve. The phone goes silent. I can hear his ragged breathing. The plot twist lands. He didn't just get caught. He got strategically, publicly, inconveniently punished. The collapse isn't just metaphorical. It's the sudden, complete implosion of his carefully constructed facade, his sense of entitlement, his belief that he could get away with anything. He stammers. You can't do that. I already did, I say, my voice flat. They're non-refundable miles once redeemed. You know that. They were used for a first-class ticket. Now that ticket is for an economy seat. Seems fair, wouldn't you say? It cost 400,000 miles, he sputters, fixating on the number, on the loss of value. Yes, I agree calmly. It did. And you spent them on her. So now you both get to enjoy the full value of that redemption in seats 45B and 45C. Hope you packed light. And this is where it happens. Not a physical collapse in front of me, but the collapse I hear over the phone, echoed perhaps by the chaos of an airport terminal or a noisy street in Miami. A choked gasp, a sound like air being punched out of him, followed by a thud, and then silence. The phone clatters. I hear muffled voices, sounds of confusion. Hello? Are you there? I say, my voice tight with a sudden, unexpected jolt of something akin to fear, or perhaps just the shock of the physical consequence of my actions. More muffled sounds. Then a different voice, tinny and rushed.
Mang?
Are you the wife? This is. Someone found his phone. He seems to have collapsed. We're getting help. The confirmation is delivered by a stranger's voice. He collapsed. The stress, the shock, the public humiliation of being caught and instantly downgraded from stolen luxury to cramped indignity, the sheer blindsiding. It was too much. The universe, or perhaps just the sheer petty cruelty of my actions, delivered a physical blow. The betrayer, smug in his perceived victory, was completely blindsided by the victim's countermove and the sheer weight of his own failure crashing down. He didn't just lose the seat. He lost his composure, his health, maybe everything in that moment. I hang up the phone. My hand is shaking now. It was just supposed to be inconvenient. Humiliating, yes. But collapse? I hadn't planned for that. The cold satisfaction is still there, but it's mixed with a sudden wave of nausea. What have I done? I didn't want him hurt. I just wanted him uncomfortable. I wanted him to know I knew, and that he didn't get away with it. The scale of his reaction is jarring. The aftermath is a slow, messy unraveling. There are calls from the hospital, confused questions, hushed tones. His mistress is there, of course. The shame, the exposure.
There's no hiding it now.
The first-class trip with the mistress ends with a medical emergency, public exposure, and a very uncomfortable flight home, likely an economy, if he's even cleared to fly. He eventually recovers, physically, but the collapse is symbolic of something deeper. The marriage is over, of course. There's no coming back from this, not after the lies, the miles, the other woman, and the spectacular, humiliating end to his planned escape. The divorce is swift and brutal, as divorces tend to be. The miles come up. He tries to claim them or their value. My lawyer just presents the documentation. Miles redeemed for first class to Miami, used by him for a non-spouse. The argument doesn't hold up well. The miles are gone, and their redemption is tied to his infidelity. He gains nothing from them, only the memory of 45B and 45C. My emotional closure is a long time coming. The initial shock and anger fade, replaced by a profound sadness for what was lost, for the years spent with someone who could do this. The satisfaction of the downgrade and his subsequent collapse is fleeting, tainted by the messiness of reality. Revenge isn't clean. It doesn't magically erase the hurt. But there is a lesson learned, a hard-won strength. I learned that I am capable of more than I thought, that I can stand up for myself, even when it feels impossible, that I have a strategic mind, a capacity for cold action when pushed, that the quiet wife can, if necessary, dismantle empires with a few clicks. I rebuild my life, piece by piece. The house feels different now, lighter somehow, without the weight of his lies. I continue to travel for work, continue to earn miles.
But they feel different now.
They are mine, unambiguously. They represent my effort, my journey. I use them for myself now. Solo trips to places I've always wanted to see. Visiting friends I haven't had time for. Building new memories that are purely my own. The memory of that day, the mouse clicks, the confirmation screen, the thud over the phone line. It remains, a stark reminder of betrayal and retaliation. It's a bittersweet ending to a chapter of my life. I lost a marriage, lost years of assumed happiness, lost a significant chunk of airline miles. But I found something too. A resilience I didn't know I possessed. A clarity about who I am and what I will tolerate. And sometimes, when I'm in an airport, waiting for my own flight, watching people board first class, I allow myself a small, private, cold smile. I imagine a man and a woman crammed into the back row, right next to the lavatories, somewhere over the Atlantic, funded by someone else's dreams. And I know with absolute certainty that sometimes the cheapest seats come at the highest price. If this story hit close to home, I'd love to hear your version. Drop a comment with where you're listening from and what time it is. Thanks for being here. Subscribing helps bring more of these to life.